Additionally, international students are ineligible to receive the settlement services from the sector. So if any service they have received, that always has been under the table. That said, the other reality is that the post-secondary education were on their own in terms of meeting the needs of the international students, which were beyond the academic needs. And especially with the introduction of ICRC requirements, immigration is one of the areas where many of them need help and advice, and they cannot provide that advice anymore because you have to be a certified immigration consultant to provide that advice. And many of the colleges and universities do not have the staff to provide this advice. So either they are getting their staff qualified for that, or some of them may be even hiring some people, but the bottom line is there is not enough resources to meet the immigration needs of all those students. So right now we are at a stage where both the post-secondary education and the settlement sector literally do not have a tradition of collaborating with each other. Settlement sector up till now has been working for all immigrant category except the international students, and the institutions are working up till now only with the international students. So the way I look at this project, and hopefully it will be a positive opportunity for us to finally work together. It is an opportunity to share a space, share an experience, and come up with some combined strategy to help the international students. So what we are hoping to achieve under this project is a successful settlement and integration strategy for the international students. Like, we want to facilitate the international student by giving them access to information about the settlement process. Now, when they need the information about the settlement process is a different question which needs to be worked out. Do they need when they are in their honeymoon stage and they think that, well, Canada is the best possible place to be in the first year, or do they need it in the last year, and all of a sudden it lands on them, they don't have anywhere else to go unless they have everything in proper place. Also, we are looking forward to improving their access to the resources and supports which are provided by the settlement sector already to the other category of immigrants. So they at least have access to those support, they can make better choices and better decisions. And also access to information about immigration options and pathways. So they do not find out towards the end of their studies or towards the end of their stay that they were not in the right field, they were not doing the job in the right home, and this is not accepted. So this does not really take them towards a clear path towards a permanent residence. So what we are looking forward to, that the sector will facilitate and support the institutions in helping them get the advice about immigration, which is the right advice. And ultimately, this advice right now will only come from the certified immigration consultant, which is always a very expensive process. That said, I do want to just say one thing that all of the presenters have said. It's already sometime assumed that all the international students who are coming to Canada want to stay here. That is not the case. Not all of them want to stay here. Or not all of them, let me say like this, want to stay on someone else's terms and conditions. Because they are maybe sometimes in different scenarios. So even if they want to stay, they do want to stay on their own terms and conditions, and they want it to be their own choice and decision. Sometimes the choice may be made on their behalf by their families who have financed their education to send them here, but still there is a choice with them, which is not available in many other cases. This project is being implemented in two phases. The first phase was that we wanted to do a need assessment to see what exists on the ground, what are we talking about. Because again, we are very new to this area ourselves in the settlement sector. We do not have much experience of dealing with the international students. So we wanted to see what is the bigger picture, what are we talking about. So based on that need assessment, which has been completed and its results are being currently analyzed, and I can just share some of the findings of that need assessment later on with you. We are looking forward to develop some of the resources for the international students which will be made available to them via different medium and channels, so they can get the right information at the right place and right time, of course. My initial finding, which I do want to share with you, do come from multiple sources. Of course, they do come out of the need assessment, which is being still finalized. They also come with the consultation with the stakeholder across the province, and also from the anecdotal evidence of dealing with themselves. And one piece of information which really comes very blatantly, very obviously to you across is that we need to provide better pre-arrival information. Because we have to keep in mind that all these international students, or most of them, when they are in their source country, are at the mercy of the agents who are processing their case. So I don't need to say anything else about the agents, or as I don't need to say anything about the lawyers, because they seem to be very close in terms of their ethics. Anyway, so that said, they do give them a very rosy picture of their life here. So when they are there, they have a different picture there, but when they come here, they do find reality very different. So they really need more accurate information more accurate pre-arrival information. That's what life is going to be here. Because sometimes some of the students may be even in GTA, maybe in a very small remote location, while they were in their source country, they were told, oh, you will be in downtown Toronto. Like a student once said that, I was told that between Brampton and your campus, the drive time is just half an hour. And it actually first day took him 3.5 hours to come. And then all of a sudden he realized he cannot live with his extended family in Brampton if he's going to pursue his studies somewhere in Toronto. Because that is not a daily commute which he can, simply because of the time, can manage to do. So simply something as small as that, there are lots of bigger issues. So there is really a big need to have accurate pre-arrival information. Again, due to new immigration regulation, they are not really clear about their pathways to immigration. So they may go to the international student offices, they may go to the other people, and everyone points them in a different direction. Because no one right now wants to take the responsibility of giving immigration advice unless they are certified. And not all the institutions have the access to certified staff. So they are not given any clear understanding, they are not given any clear information about their immigration pathways. And as most of us know that immigration policies are changing so frequently, and the information which is there available on website is so sketchy that it is simply not enough to determine your pathways based on the information which is provided through those channels. So that's another major finding which is there, puts a great burden on the international students and definitely puts them in a very precarious position. Also, traditionally and currently still to date, they are not eligible for settlement services. So, especially under the federal funding, they are not eligible. Under the provincial funding, they are not eligible. But there are many organizations who do provide them services under the table, and which is still good. So that is another area which we need to look at, and where the project is hoping to make recommendation, where they can get some more services for which they will be accessible to. And one of the things which came out very clearly that there is lots of information which is available either with the ISOs or the university's website or in some other places, but the students are not linked with that information. So the question is about, does the information does not exist, or the service does not exist, or are they not aware about it? So there is a need, where, as I earlier said, that traditionally both the service sector and the education institution have not worked in collaboration for helping the international students. There is an immense need to develop this collaboration so the information can be shared and they can be linked with the right information. Because many a time when you expose them to a specific information and there's ways to find out that this information was already available within their own institution website, but they were just focused on looking for the right information under the heading of international students. And coming to the point of under the heading of international students, there is one thing which also provides a big disservice to them, and they provide in some ways a disservice to themselves, because they think of themselves as international students. Many of them think, oh, we are not newcomers. We are international students. So they see themselves differently. So sometimes if we become aware of something that is available within the community, they think, oh no, it's not for us, these are just for the immigrants. So there is another factor that you may have heard this term many times previously, that they are all the designer immigrants. So they start seeing themselves up to a certain extent as a designer immigrants. But how many of us can afford them? That's another question. Like if you think about from the employer's perspective. So seeing themselves differently and within the system being seen differently does not do them much of a service. So there is another point where they need to understand that when they go towards the immigration pathways, they are very well taken care of during their studies, but all of a sudden they are going to be on their own, and they have to look after all of the issues like many of the newcomers have been looking after themselves for decades. So there's another factor which came out very strongly, that they are served differently, they are seen differently, while not all of them are in the same situation. Many of them are not in the same situation. What we plan to do under this project in the light of these initial findings, and there are many more which we will be hoping to share later on once the report will be released with the community. We are looking forward to that. We want to develop lot of resource material for them in forms of interactions, which was a very surprising thing because we thought that being an international student, everything has to be either via an app or it has to be on a mobile website or there has to be something. But there is an immense need depending upon, because this project is both for Francophone and Anglophone students. So depending upon which demographic and which group you're talking about, there was an immense demand for printed resources also, coming from, again, depending upon which source country they may be coming from and what their language level may be. So various resources will be developed for them to meet their needs initially. We are also looking forward to developing some guidelines where we can go to different colleges, universities, the civil sector itself, and develop some maybe one-on-one or a group sessions where we will be provided information and those services. So we are looking forward to identifying 3 to 4 pilot communities across province, where we will be working with the post-secondary institutions and the local service providers to provide them those services at their location. And this will be done from now until March 31st, 2015 and beyond. But initially we will be only working with 3 to 4 pilot communities. We also want to develop and implement a collaborative planning and implementation process in the pilot side, depending upon again the need of the students and where they are, because services which may be available in GTA versus the services which may be available in Thunder Bay, simply because of being of a small demographic, are very different. So this community will vary from places to places, and we will develop our approach according to that. Thank you very much.